today we are going to talk to a financial coach about financial advice. Let's get started with the first question. Do you really think everyone needs a financial advisor? And if so, why? That's a good question. I think let's first distinguish between the different role of advisors you get. You get a broker, then you get a planner, and then you get a financial advisor. Now, not everybody differentiates between the three. In some people's minds, it's exactly the same thing. But this is how myself as a coach, how I approach this. A broker, in my opinion, is someone that will merely just help you with a product. So if you need to purchase life cover, they will help you to buy a life cover policy. If you need to purchase a retirement annuity, they will help you to get a retirement annuity. So to me, that is a broker. The planner, financial planner, is more focused on trying to figure out what your need is, your scenario planning, how much you require, what you need to save, how much you need to buy, calculating that need and then planning and finding a solution around it. And then you get the financial advisor, who's not really focused on the product at all. They'll provide a solution. If it results in a product, fine. But in the end, what they're focusing on is on the advice. Do this, not that. This is a need that you need to address. This is a risk in your life. These are all the possible solutions. Let's talk about your priorities that look at what you can afford. And that's an advisor. So to me, that's the three different roles. An advisor often combines the three roles in one. So they do help with the product, they do the planning and everything, and they provide the advice. But they're usually not dependent on doing all three. They can just assist with advice. Whilst a broker tends to be dependent on you buying a product, and a planner being dependent on you buying a product, but they insist on helping you to do a financial needs analysis, which is what you actually should be doing. Okay, so you clearly prefer the advisor role, right? Not necessarily. It depends on your need. Okay, if you just need to buy a life cover because you bought a bond and you need to settle the debt, then you need a broker. That's all you need. You don't need to go through the whole needs analysis process, although it is a requirement in the legislation. But if you need a financial plan to be drafted, you want to know, okay, fine, somebody in your family has been diagnosed with cancer and you've seen what hectic results that can have, and you want to make sure that you are provided for that. So you want somebody to do a financial plan for you and look at your scenario. Then obviously you need a planner. But if you need advice, a decision to make, should I pay off my debt? Should I buy a car, cash? Should I invest? What should I invest in? If you just need that advice and you feel like you can do it yourself, then you can maybe find an advisor that can just give you the advice and give you guidance. Why can't I just Google it? Surely Google will be able to give me the answer. Well, let's test it. I have a Google speaker right here behind me. So let's see. I'm going to ask Google, do I need life cover? Let's see. Hey, Google. Do I need life cover?
On the website moneyweb.co.za, they say, when considering life cover, give thought to your need for living benefits such as income protection, capital disability and dread disease cover. Insurance is typically much cheaper to secure while you are young and healthy, and if you're earning an income protection benefit is likely a necessity.
Well, hopefully you could hear all that. She's basically just saying buy a policy with all the benefits in it. So that's not exactly the advice you required when it comes to life cover, because she didn't tell you how much you needed. She didn't tell you what kind you needed, the term, the premium pattern, all those kind of things she didn't tell you. But what she said wasn't wrong. It was perfectly correct. It is cheaper when you are younger. But yeah, well, that sounded pretty accurate to me. Yeah, but like I said, it's still one-sided. You still don't know how much you need. You still don't know what kind of product you need to buy. Okay, I see your point. But surely there's a standard formula that you use. That's true. It is true. There is a standard formula that can be applied, and that's why things like robo-advice exists. Because a robo-advisor will just ask you a few questions, you input the answer, and they calculate it according to the standard formula, and they will tell you what you need to know. The problem is that that's the problem. It's a standard formula, and every individual is different. Your individual needs might be different to the other one, another person. Your specific individual circumstances, affordability, all those kinds of things. Everybody's situation is different. So a standard formula might not give you the specific solution that you require as an individual. But if I've done that through a self-help portal or robo-advice or something, and I'm happy with the outcome and I'm happy to carry the risk to proceed, why can't I just DIY it? Why can't I just do it myself? Yes, you can, but which provider will you choose? Will you base your decision purely on accessibility and perhaps price? Did you consider different underwriting between the providers? Different benefit descriptions, benefit definitions, categories? Okay, I don't even know what that means that you just said. Precisely. An advisor is trained, well, they should be, in various products, and they have the knowledge to assist you and to present you with a solution that is best for you as an individual. That is why I would also propose that you consider an independent advisor, because they can present many products, many companies, and they'll be able to find a more suitable solution for you than if you approach someone that is directly linked to one specific company and can only provide you with one solution. I hear you, but what do you mean by that? Like I said, an independent advisor will represent various companies. So they could do comparative quotes, comparative benefit definitions, comparative underwriting solutions, whilst a direct broker that only presents one company can only really tell you about that company's product. And that company might have various products, so he can present you with different options there, and it will probably be okay. But you won't know for sure if you could have found a better benefit somewhere else, or whether you could have found a better price somewhere else, better structure, better claims experience, better underwriting, because this company or this person can only represent that specific company. So say none of the things you just mentioned is important to me, and I am happy to proceed and carry the risk myself, to just DIY it. Then I don't need an advisor, right? I can think of one other reason why I should need one. The only other point that a robot will not be able to assist you with is objectivity. Because when it comes to decisions, you need someone to help you decide based on your personal circumstances. And Google or a robot is not going to do that. If that, they will have the answer, they will have a scenario, they will have possible solutions, but it won't be specific to you. Okay? And the other thing is, people tend to be emotional about their finances. So you tend to make emotional decisions, and your past experiences and your perceptions influence how you feel about it. And you need a third objective party to help you make unemotional decisions about your finances. And it will help you make wise decisions. You might get a Google answer, but is it the right answer for you? And lastly, there is one more point. Once you've put something in place, it's not the final step. That's just the first step. It's not the end yet. You need to review that, because things change. You change. The industry changes. The product changes. Everything changes regularly. So you need to keep up to date with that. And as you change, your portfolio will need to change and adapt. So you can't just put it in place and then forget about it. You need to consider the changes and review it regularly. You might be able to remember that if you set a reminder for yourself or something, but are you willing to commit long term for the rest of your life to stay up to date with what's going on in the industry, compare your current scenario with the past scenario and the future scenario? Will you be able to do that and consider all possibilities? That sounds like hard work, and I don't think I will be willingly doing research on that topic, or even remember to do it on a regular basis. I would probably just forget and hope for the best that all works out. If something happens to you someday, or your family, you and your family might be very surprised with the outcome at claim stage. Then it's too late for you to do anything about it. All right, so now I have a clearer understanding of the role of an advisor, but how do they get paid? There are different remuneration, I'm struggling with the word, packages out there, okay? So Some advisors, planners, brokers just live off the commission they receive. So if you buy a risk policy, you receive, the advisor or the planner or the broker will receive commission, and that is what they have to live off. If you buy an investment, then they receive ongoing fees on a regular basis. Commission on a risk policy, by the way, is usually, it is different, usually an upfront payment, and that only for the first year or two. Thereafter, they only get small portions on if there's amendments on the policy. Now, and the bad thing is, if you cancel that policy, they have to pay it back. Anyway, so that is how it works. But often, especially with advisors, they can charge an hourly tariff. So if you see them, they will determine how much time they spend on it, and they'll quote you an hourly rate. And based on the time they spend, they will charge you that. And they usually quote you upfront because they'll have an idea of the work they're going to do. And then they'll quote you at the hourly tariff about how much it's going to cost you. And then you can decide. Sometimes it's a dual approach. They will quote you, and then they'll say, okay, fine, this is the solution. If you do purchase it from me and you don't do it yourself or go somewhere else, then I will earn commission on it, and then we can write it off against the fee. So there are different structures. You'll have to find out before you start with the relationship with that specific advisor or broker or planner what their cost structure is. That makes sense. I suppose nobody works for free, and so they shouldn't either. Exactly. Okay. The thing is, people don't even know what these advisors, planners, brokers have to go through in the background just to stay up to date with all the product changes and training and the CPD requirements and the risk they're carrying of the advice that they're giving and the people working with them, the analysis they're doing, all the calculations, the systems they have to learn just to adhere to all the compliance in the industry is a nightmare already. So there's a whole lot of things behind the scenes that they are involved with to enable them to provide you with a service. And that is actually in the end what you are paying for as well, not just what you feel on the receiving end. And it's like going to a doctor. Nobody goes to a doctor and expect the doctor to consult them for free or to provide them with a diagnosis for free or give them a free script. And they don't expect to go to a pharmacy and then buy that medicine for free at no charge. So if you go to an advisor, it's the same. They will also consult, and they will diagnose your problem and provide you with a solution that you have to buy. It's the same. So I don't always understand why people expect to get it for free at a financial advisor and not at a doctor. It's a very, very similar scenario. I agree. Well, there you have it. We all need advice, even if we think we don't, and even if we think we can do it ourselves. Google can only answer your question. So if you don't ask the right question, you won't get the right answer. And maybe you don't even know which question to ask, but a financial advisor will know which questions you're supposed to ask and help you with the answer.